they're massive days, man. Like you get up at 3 or 4 in the morning, 2 hours on a scooter, go there, shoot all that, 2 hours back, trying to eat on the way and try not to get sick, out at this place, and then you're at this place till like 2 in the morning, like you do it all again. So they're always big trips, and then always looking back, it's like so much fun.
Before we kick into Jayden's potty today, merch is finally around the corner, a few days away. So got the men's heavy tee in the black and cream. And then we also got the men's oversized heavy hoodie. Comes in the cobalt grey as well. Got also the Roman numerals on the back here. Fresh little feature, but keep an eye out for that. We'll be putting up on the potty and also follow us on Manifest Clothing. Run that shit up. It's gonna be fire drop, so stay tuned. But other than that, let's kick into the potty. Right, potty number 24, got Jayden Gilfillan.
Boom. Let's go, boys.
Got it?
I'm pumped. Yeah, nailed the last name. Fuck, good start.
That's the way it's been happening, bro.
Today, just a lot of work, man. A lot of work, a lot of caffeine. But yeah, made it through.
Yeah, you said you've been doing your shoot for the tattoo studio.
Yeah. So just finished off. It's been one of those projects that's lasted like eternity.
Yeah.
It's it was three full days filming, and then it's been like, fuck, I don't know, a lot of editing.
Yep.
But yeah, finally finished it off, sent it off, all done, invoice sent. So weight off the back, feels good.
Chilling.
Yeah. But aside from that, yeah, just a bit of running around, bit of work. I've got a big few weeks coming up. So yeah, exciting times. What about you boys? Busy day?
Yeah, no, I just did 3 pods this morning. Just two pods this morning, so third one now. Yeah, and got another one coming up after this, and then another one tomorrow. Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, no.
Smashing it out, eh?
Yeah, that's good.
Get a kick back for 5 weeks then and back on the train and punching out more potties. But
yeah, mad.
Yeah, bro, like videography, that's your go-to, bro?
Yeah,
that's
videography, yeah, sort of like fell into it. But the last sort of 5 or so years sort of been, started about 5 years ago, and then sort of the last 3 years been sort of focusing on it a lot more and growing it more as a business opposed to sort of just like on the side.
Yep.
But yeah, now it's like full-time.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's working for yourself, 1080.
Yeah, 1080X Media. Yeah. Yep. Focus on a lot of like, well, initially it was a lot of like fitness, Instagram sort of style stuff.
Yep.
And then sort of repositioned and went towards like your, more like construction, real estate, cars, all that sort of stuff. So a little bit more like high paying clientele.
Yeah. So that's the market you're chasing down here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So as sort of, I fell into, like I said, fitness stuff because that was just like the first job I got referrals through that. And that was sort of, I just niched myself in there. But just like that particular clientele was a little bit difficult to deal with. Like not particularly, your Instagram models are not exactly, raking it in or weren't back then. Some of them are killing it now, but it's tough to sort of like, charge a premium price this and, still love it and without getting burnt out. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
100, bro. We'll dial it back a bit, brother.
Yep.
Where the story start, whereabouts you from?
From the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Born in Sydney, or born on Central Coast, moved up here when I was like 3. And then, went to primary school here, went to high school here, went to uni here. And then towards the back end of uni, got sort of, as I was finishing is when I sort of started filming. But yeah, growing up, I was in high school, I was a track sprinter. So I used to be sort of like a national level sprinter, which was sick.
Yeah,
and
it's to compete for Crumben as well.
Yeah, Crumben Vikings. Yeah, way back in the day. So, that was really good. Traveled all around Australia. I guess it's also really good for, I guess, like looking back now, like my personal development, all that sort of stuff, like being an athlete of that level and training as hard as I did sort of laid the foundations of like basically just doing what you don't want to do and sort of pushing through and sort of built a lot off that, which was really good. But yeah, track sprinter when I was in high school, went to uni, back end of uni, started, getting into filming. That's pretty much it. And
where did you find your passion for filmmaking? Just
filmmaking sort of fell into it, I guess. So we'll go a little bit deeper into that. So while I was sort of finishing up uni, had a sort of a bit of a situation, a few friends that sort of weren't the best, to sort of surround myself with, and then ended up basically, we're in this house and it was like 5-bedroom house. There was heaps of people living there. And then, ended up, I think it was maybe like around schoolies time, there was all these events on, and the guys I was living with were all in that sort of space. And then all of a sudden, wake up and check my phone. I look at the date. I'm like, oh, it's like the 15th of November or whatever. I'm like, fuck, I'm pretty sure I got this message about something on like tomorrow, the 16th of November or whatever date it was. And then I like checked into my emails and it was my lease of my house ending. So I like sort of went through this, like bit of a party phase. Sort of came to, saw this notification. It was like, holy shit, I've got to get myself and everyone out of this house by tomorrow. So that was a very uncomfortable conversation.
Wow.
Stupid mistakes. And then, pretty much from there was spent about 2 weeks. I just before that I had bought an AMG. So was cruising around sleeping in an AMG. Pretty embarrassing. But so that was while I was at uni, and then sort of, picked myself up, got a place, started working, finished off uni, and then, picked up a camera, and then that's the end of that. That's pretty much what I've been doing ever since.
Yep. So on top of uni, you're working like 2-3 jobs as
Heaps,
well.
Yeah. So initially, I guess out of now all I do is videos and photos, and I've sort of able to charge a lot more for that because it's all I do and I'm a lot better at it. But back then, like coming out of school, I had no real skills, and I was like, I want to make as much money as possible. As I sort of stopped training as much, I started to just work a lot more, and I just got as many jobs as I could to fill every single day and as many hours as possible, just trying to, make money like that. I had like 4 or 5 jobs at one time, part-time weekends, working at nightclubs at night and just like burning the candle, going for it. But it was really good. Really good in terms of like now a lesson to look back on. And at the time, it was rough, but 4 or 5 jobs, trying to sprint, finishing off uni, started filming, and
cool.
Yeah.
What stage did you realize like how much potential your filmmaking had that you're able to phase away from to having all these jobs, trying to support yourself?
That was about 2 years in. So I've been doing it sort of full time for about 3 years now, and that was sort of like when I because at the start it was just a bit of a hobby, and I'd sort of shoot maybe like every, I don't know, once a week or, a couple times a month. And I was earning like okay money, but I was more so just doing it. Like I do jobs for free and things like that to get exposure, or if there's someone I want to shoot, I'd offer to do them, them shoots for free and that sort of stuff. And then sort of, a year or 2 in, I'd sort of had a lot of practice and gotten a lot better, and I was getting legitimate clients and sort of, had a few like mentors in the game, and sort of figuring out, they were telling me what they were charging. I was like, holy shit. And then, started upping my prices a little bit, and people kept booking me. Yeah. And then, that was when I was like, why would I bother doing a whole week's of work, these 2 or 3 jobs when I can just do 1 shoot or 2 shoots or whatever. Sure. And then, took the leap. Yep. It's a scary thing. Obviously, like when you're at a job, you got like the safety net of, you go to work, you get paid, you go home, you can pay all your bills, and that's it. Yeah. Whereas like, with how I, trying to jump out of that and, not employed anymore, it's all on your own back, and you've got to like find new shoots to pay for your bills. It was scary, but it all ended up working out. So
sweet. Good on you. Yeah.
Yep. So start filmmaking, you're doing free shoots and that. When did you find that like you got to a level where you're like, I'm good at this and this is what I do for the rest of my life type thing? Is that what stage you got to? You were like, I'm going to do this full time. Like,
sort of full time, I guess. Like my mindset with it. So, at the start, I like really loved it, and then I still love it. Don't get me wrong. But it obviously has its moments like everything, but it is really good. Yep. But I think for the time being, and sort of like the last sort of 12 to 24 months, I do love it, but it's also, I understand that I don't want to do it forever. So that's when I sort of shifted from just trying to do the one-off things here and there, and sort of the clientele that I was focusing on, to try and build it into more of a business, so that eventually, because right now I still love filming, love going to shoots, all that sort of stuff. But trying to sort of structure things now so that I have a bit of a team alongside me and, above me and below me, so that eventually I can take those steps back and sort of, focus on more the business side and that sort of stuff, which is what I'm sort of in the trenches with at the moment. I've got, a few editors, had people, contract me filming for me, that sort of stuff. But that's sort of in the works at the moment. So I do love it still. But yeah, slowly sort of the last 2 years or so been trying to transition so that eventually when I do sort of want to not pull the pin, but when I want to decide that I don't want to be sort of, at houses or at shoots or here and there, that I have the option to do that.
Yep.
I'm just trying to
100%.
prepare, yeah.
Yeah, and over the years, you eventually picked up a gig with Shammi.
Yeah.
You're been his filmmaker, eh?
Yeah. Shammi's videographer. Yeah, it's been, that's a wild
That's crazy,
one.
bro. Yeah, because he's like, when it comes to influencers in Australia, he must be up there with.
Yeah, 100%.
He's up
massive.
there.
He's got one of the biggest followings on Facebook in the world. He's
Yep.
massive on Facebook. And yeah, he was one of the originals. I guess in Australia, there wasn't really like anyone. It's him and Jackson. There's a few, big people overseas like that Lance 210 guy. Obviously Jake Paul, Logan Paul, that sort of stuff. But there was no one really in Australia. I mean, now there's obviously, you got Tammy Hembrow and all those like the fitness sort of chicks. But yeah, he sort of like, I guess, brought it to Australia and put in heaps of work and sort of got the following that he has now. But yeah, that was a weird one. I just got a random phone call one day from one of his business partners through a friend, and she sort of called me. I didn't really know. Like, I knew who he was, but I was a little bit skeptical of the whole situation because I just got this text message saying, hello, I'm Kate. I work with Shammi. Are you free a bit later for a call? We've got a trip coming up. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. And then reply back. Then my phone rings, answer it. And she was like, oh, hello. This is on like a Thursday afternoon. And she was like, oh, hi, introduce herself, whatever. She was like, oh, so we've got this trip up to Early Beach leaving on Saturday morning, ran me sort of through it. Would I like to do it? And I was like, oh, fuck, I guess so.
Yep.
So I called up my job and was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to work this weekend. So I got this thing come up and they were fine with it. And then, Saturday morning, met him at his house for pretty much the first time. And then, flew to Early with him. And that's it. Been filming him pretty much full time, or not full time, but filming him, for like sort of nearly 3 years now. So
you're looking before, it was 2019 before COVID or during?
Before COVID. Yeah. So it would be going on nearly 4 years now. So.
Yeah, because when I remember being like 14, bro, and you see him doing his skits with Jackson, like where they used to live, like the one where they're like, Jackson's in the bathtub and Shammi's like throwing them the fucking chips and chicken or the
so
fucking fish from Woolies or some shit. We're going back here.
Ruthless.
Like, that's when he started blowing up. That's when he started getting noticed, and probably like that 2018, 2019, that's when he really started getting a name for himself.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. He was, like I said, he was one of the originals, and he's done really well. Like a lot of them, like you see people sort of pop up and fall off. He's managed to sort of
maintain it.
Yeah, not only maintain it, but I guess like a bit like I'm trying to do is sort of, I don't want to be filming the whole time, and eventually that's gonna get old. So he's built good businesses around sort of what he's doing, and he's got his like uncut, he's got his merch, he's got investing in his content, that sort of stuff.
Even so that Forking, is that Jayden run that now?
It's him and his brothers. They're all sort of in on it. But yeah, they got that Macro Kitchen, heaps of different stuff. But yeah,
that's full on. And were you just filming for his YouTube? He's got Shammi vlogs, and he's also got his skits on all his Facebook.
Yeah. So he's, me and his brother Justin sort of like tag team it a lot of it. He's got his like all his Facebook stuff, YouTube stuff, and then his uncut stuff as well, which is like his like when we go away on trips, or like I guess like the behind the scenes sort of stuff, and like extended versions, all that sort of stuff. I do mostly that stuff, and then his brother sort of Justin does the rest of it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Seen you just recently went to Bali, had that guy.
Yeah,
looked incredible.
That was good. It was good. It was it's one of those things like going away with them. It's always fun, but it's always like, fuck, it's gonna be a big trip.
Yeah,
like,
for
every
sure.
single time. Like even over there, like we tried to do the whole, like a typical day would get up. We're there for 3.5 weeks, which is pretty long, but like they're massive days, man. Like you get up early in the morning, we're up like trying to do this like photo shoots of these like rice fields, all that sort of shit. So we're up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, 2 hours on a scooter, go there, shoot all that, 2 hours back, eating, like trying to eat on the way and trying not to get sick. And then you're filming all day at the villa, and then you're out at this place, and then you're at this place till like 2 in the morning, and then you're back at home, and then like you do it all again. So they're always big trips, and they're sort of like, at the time you're like, oh fuck, I just want to go home. But then always looking back, it's like so much fun.
Yeah, looked awesome.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, it's such a relief to get home.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, 3.5 weeks is pretty big stint. Hey, like, we've only been for a week at max. Lucky 5 days, I think. But yeah. 3.5, damn.
And that, would have been what? Like coming back home, you would have needed like a 1 week break, eh? Like just to recalibrate.
I got thrown straight in the deep end too, because it was sort of like, it wasn't planned last minute, but it didn't have much notice. So I sort of had to, and I've got my own sort of stuff going on. So I had to move it all around. And I just like stacked it either side of the trip. So as soon as I got back that next day, I think I had to work at like 6 a.m, straight into filming. But it was actually good. A few other boys sort of took a few days to sort of, ease back into it, have a few days off, and they were, like if you sort of switch off, then you just get into that sort of mindset where So.
Have you done much other travel around the world, or you just more?
I've done Japan, and then we sort of, because I started filming him just before sort of COVID. So we've done, with him, I've been to, Sydney, Melbourne, Sunshine Coast, obviously all around the Gold Coast, went to Darwin. And then, outside of that, I've only been to Japan. But I want to do a couple of trips this year. Should be good.
100. More like looking at Europe or America, or
I don't know. I want to do everything, but I just want to, I don't want to do, my thing's always been, I don't want to do anywhere where I don't have enough money to do everything I want to do. So I sort of want to, just hold off a little bit longer. So I don't want to be, in the middle of the US or something. Something costs like $2-3 grand to do. I'm like, oh no, I won't do it. I want to be in a position where I'm like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yep. 100. Yeah. And like I said, you were starting on a few other things to kind of step back from videography if you want. The podcast, is that one of them?
No, podcast has just been a bit of fun. I guess I've always, I guess wanted to do one. And then a friend of mine, Michael, sort of always wanted to do one as well. And he had this idea. It was in his notes from like 6 or 7 years ago, like the name Young Success Story and like what it was about and who he wanted to get on. And then he sort of mentioned it, and I was like, oh fuck, let's just do it. I'll film it. You find the guests, and it's been really good. It's been really good.
Because you started, I think, just after us. You started in April, eh?
I think so. Yeah, it's been a challenge trying to get, like, obviously you boys know, trying to organize two people's schedule, two busy people's schedule, and then a guest, and then trying to organize like editing and getting, people on each week. It's a grind, man. I'll just start a podcast. In my head, that's what I thought. I'll just start a podcast. It'll be easy. But fuck, it's a lot.
It's a lot harder. Yeah, for sure. Like that's why I want to come down Goldie, because I can imagine it'd still be difficult. Like people, like, especially the people you've had in your potty, bro, like all business people as well. And they'd be flat busy. Out too.
Everyone's busy. And
that's why I want to, run down here and do more potties with those more business type people for sure. Because Gladdy, it's not, I don't know, not many people are doing, say for what you're doing, for example, like videography and really chasing that entrepreneur kind of mindset, way of life. It's more like, there's a few people that have the young sporting stories when they were younger, or, they might be trying to do something now, but I don't know, just down here, there's a lot more variety and
100%. It's actually really, I find, like I say to people all the time, like Gold Coast is such a good balance between, like, I guess there's obviously like the social side and like the partying if you're into that, but there's also like, there's so much like development and money and business going on here as well. And like, fuck, it's such a good place. It's such a good balance of both. But I love living here. It's so good. But it is still like, even saying that, like it's still with the whole podcast thing, it's pretty hard to sort of get people on and, manage their schedules and everything.
Not only that, but like you got your work too.
Yeah, exactly. Even trying to get two people, like everyone has those friends and you've been trying to see them for like 2-3 years. Like, oh yeah, I'll see it. It just never happens. It's exactly like that. Like we're both busy. They're busy. It's it's a rough grind, but it's good. It's fun.
You're just shooting at one boy, your house, or
we try and go to their house. So like,
true. To try make it a lot easier for them.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Because like we're trying to get like, eventually want to get pretty big names on. And it's also that we want to sort of film like behind the scenes of their life and that sort of thing. So like vlog, going there, meeting them, looking at their house, all that sort of stuff. They've got any like cool toys or whatever. And then, just a, sort of a convenience thing for them, film at their workplace or at their house or whatever. But it's been good. It's been really good.
Yep.
It's been really good.
So like you said, you're eventually trying to build a foundation so you can eventually take a step back. Maybe is it something you had in mind that you eventually wanted to move on to, or just take
not necessarily like had in mind? I guess like I've always been like my whole thing's always been like I want like abundance in my life. So I guess by that it means I don't not sort of solidified how I'm going to get there, but I just know that sort of since I've been young, I've been trying to lay the foundations. Bought my first house when, not super early, but when I was 22, so a few years, 23, sorry. So a couple of years ago, obviously, in order to qualify that, I had to sort of tick a few boxes beforehand. And even I guess sort of going back, into high school and into uni, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just wanted all my options open. So in school, picked, all the stupid hard subjects like maths, physics, chemistry, all that sort of stuff, so that I didn't, wasn't closed out at uni. Yeah. At uni, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So did engineering for a year. I was like, no, I don't really like it. So went into business, and then that sort of led where I am today. But in terms of sort of, I guess, where I want to be, obviously want to have, abundance, like I said, abundance of like time, money, freedom to do whatever I want. And I guess, I don't really have like a solidified, path where I'm going to go, but I'm just trying to make the most of sort of what I have, grow what I have. And then from that, I've sort of learned that doorways open up. You meet people, you realize, oh, this is a really good sort of market. I'll go down this way. Oh, this is really good. I'll go down this way. You sort of navigate your way through it. Yeah. I think, I guess a lot of people are the same where, it's hard to sort of figure out what you want to do and how you're going to get there. And unless you have like a good mentor, it's nearly impossible to sort of have it all mapped out. Mm-hmm. I'm just rolling it on my own, just making up as I go sort of thing. But trying to maintain sort of a bit of a structured plan and heading towards an end goal of having, property and being properly set up. Yeah,
definitely the best way to do it. Keep your options open.
Yeah, 100%.
Any path you want.
Yeah, 100%. That's the plan.
Yeah, 100. I like touch back when you do get kicked out of your house, bro, and you had to, you have to stick it up and live in your car, bro. Like, man, like what was your mindset like? Like, how'd you even get through that, bro? Like, what was your drive?
Mindset to get out. Look, that was one of those things where like, it did suck, like, don't get me wrong, but it was actually a pretty like, it was a good experience. Like being at, I guess like, I don't want to say rock bottom, because like obviously I'm sleeping in Mercedes. It's not like, it could be worse, but like you sleep in your car, and like, it wasn't too bad. It was sort of like it sucked. And I like showering at the gym and like, having all my shit in storage. And I was like, fuck, I never want this to happen again. But at the same time, it was also like, it was doable. So I guess moving from that point onwards, it's been a lot easier to take risks and that sort of stuff, to look back and be like, oh, like it's not actually that bad. Like if I had to start again tomorrow and I lost my house or whatever, I lost the place I'm living in now, I lost my car, I lost everything. It's sort of like a good, thing to sort of be able to look back on and be like, oh, it wasn't actually that bad. You just like sleep wherever you can sleep, you shower wherever you want to shower, and then you go do your work. And then when you get home, you figure out how you're going to get out of that. And it was actually, it was shit in terms, like it was really difficult to do. And thankful I had a friend's house to stay at, moving on from that. But it was actually a good experience in that sense.
And did you find like you just appreciate everything so much more, eh?
Yeah, 100%. I guess like, that, like I said, the flip side of that was like, the mindset was like, this is never happening again. Like, so I sort of, I didn't come into money before, like leading up to that. Obviously I had a Mercedes, that sort of stuff, wasn't making crazy money. But I was just very like, just spending it everywhere and wasn't sort of tracking anything like that. So I guess it was a really good, quick wake up call to be like, all right, get your shit together. You still have an income, focus on that, focus on, getting a house, focus on all this sort of stuff and start to lay the foundations. And then that's just basically been the pathway that I've followed until this point. Yep. But it was a rough experience, but it was a very good learning curve.
Yeah. I feel like it would be so great for for people to hear that, bro, and see how far you've come from that. Like, stand back and be like, wow, like, people appreciate that, man.
Yeah, 100%. And I must say, I'm very hard on myself. Like, I don't think by any means I've made it at all. Like, I make good money and I have a house, that sort of stuff. But I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm very bad at one thing. I guess if I can be a little bit hard on myself, is I'm not good at like stopping to smell the roses. But I think that is very important for everyone along the way. Like, if you're not grateful for something, it's usually whatever you're not grateful for are usually the things that you sort of, you're going to lose. So, stopping and smelling the roses is very, very important.
Yep. Are you mid late 20s now or
25?
25, yeah.
Yeah.
So you still got 25, bro.
Yeah.
For what you've done, bro, man.
Yeah, a long way to go, but Yeah.
It's full on. Are you good, bro?
I was just going to say, you need to give yourself some credit, man.
Yeah,
25 years old.
It's hard. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. If you want to, I guess if you want to achieve high things and have high goals, then you've sort of got to, I guess, have that little chip on your shoulder. Yeah.
Yep. Sure. Your family's still in GC too, or?
Family still, sort of, yeah. Well, for the most part, yeah. So a lot of them were still in Sydney, but since have sort of moved up or passed away. And then, yeah, my mum's in Brisbane, brothers and sisters are all on the Gold Coast. I got a younger brother in Bathurst. But yeah, mostly GC.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you boys? You got all in Gladstone?
Yeah, pretty much, bro.
Yeah.
Glad, yeah. Oh, you were born Glady too, eh?
What was that, sorry?
You were born Glady too, eh?
Oh
no, you were born a King Roy.
I was born in King Roy, but I moved up when I was like
Moved
6
Glady.
months old.
Yeah. No,
the
pretty much
whole
always.
family's there,
Yeah. Yeah, both our families are all pretty much just Glady, bro.
Yeah, sick.
So it's good. And it's nice to be able to like, plans obviously to move down here, bro. And, flourish here. But it's always, I feel like Glady's just like, and Forsey went into good detail about it earlier. Like you said, Ryan Forsey.
Yeah. Very good unit. Good unit. Loves the chat.
Yeah, like you said, like, Glady is a good town, bro. Like apprenticeship and, you get to know everyone kind of thing because small town vibes. But at the same time, like, yeah, not everyone has that drive to pursue a, entrepreneur career. So
yeah, 100%. It can be hard. It can be really restricting if you're in sort of, I mean, it's like that, if you're even if you have like you're in somewhere like the Gold Coast and you have a bad circle, like it's really hard to sort of like cut people off and sort of go out and do it all on your own. If you're in somewhere like, in a town like that or in, even a friendship circle like that, it is really hard to sort of step back and notice and sort of push through that feeling of wanting to cut people off and sort of go out on your own. But yeah, definitely recommend the move up. It's the best.
And I feel that's why I feel so fortunate because I got Geordie, Jet, even Dom. He's really trying to pursue crypto. So, and he's like been punching it lately. So, Dom too. I think you would have met him when I first met you.
Oh yeah.
Big long blonde hair, big Dom. But I've been real blessed to have these boys in my life and give me the confidence to, start my thing, get this podcast going. Like, getting Geordie and Jet on, like, it was a no-brainer to do that. So, and honestly, without them, I don't think would have ever started or had the confidence to.
Yeah, shout out to the boys, eh?
Yeah, so
that's sick.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jet's not here, but
yeah,
he would have loved it. Yeah, especially me, you, bro. I think I was telling him about the boys we were getting on. So
yeah,
but sure, for times come, yeah,
100%. So, what's the plan for you boys from here? You want to take the podcast further, and obviously, you said you want to move up, or
yeah, bro. So yeah, Geordie and I both still apprentices. Geordie's 5 years though, so. I started after Geordie because I was a grade below. I started school based, then kicked off mid grade 12.
Yeah.
But I finish hopefully early mid next year. Yeah. And I'm pursuing my own videography business at the moment.
Oh, yeah,
so
sick.
I'm
sick.
Getting mentored by David.
Oh yeah. Big dog. Mr. Shaw. Yeah. Shout out David.
Yeah, he's been amazing, bro. Mad bloke, and you would know him very well too.
Yeah.
Because you used to both train at the same gym.
Yeah. Well, we used to. I don't train there anymore, but I've known him for probably like 4 years now.
Yep.
Yeah, really good guy.
Yeah, but bro, I just want to eventually, have the financials to move down here, bro, and keep pursuing the career, then bring the boys down with me. And honestly, bro, like with the podcast, bro, like we love it. So it's not a hard thing to do. I love editing, all that jazz. So wherever it goes is where it goes. But it would be amazing for it to blow up and be one of those potties that everyone knows type thing. Sick. So just see what happens, bro. It's only been 6 months. Even like your potty, like who knows where they can go. But honestly, like the guests you're having on, bro, I wouldn't have a doubt that.
100%. Helps a lot having good guests on.
Oh, 100%. Gets that traction, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what you need, eh?
Yeah, fresh eyeballs on it.
Yeah,
it's good.
You got any being on the GC, like you said, party. You got any loose stories, bro?
Oh,
can't really share some of them.
I don't know. I got some juicy stories.
PG ones.
Yeah. Is this on YouTube or what?
Yeah, it's just on YouTube.
Fuck. I got a lot.
I can imagine.
I can't even think. It's like, when you're on Netflix and there's just too many movies to watch. You're just like, fuck it. It's like one of those situations. I don't know which one to tell. Fuck. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. We'll finish off with the story. I'll think about it. Leave it with me.
I think we're kicking to the future manifestations.
Yeah.
I know you've said that obviously you want to branch away from videography, but saying like even 5-10 years, bro, like into the near future, that's what you really want to be doing. Like, well, I guess in terms that you want to be in a position where, you know, there's constant money just coming in 24/7. And
yeah. Not even just money. Like I guess in like 5 years time, my whole thing is like, you know, like the pillars of like health, wealth and happiness, I guess, if I could break it down. So obviously wealth side is, you know, what I've been talking about with, you know, videography, you know, building, you know, into property, eventually have a few properties, pay themselves off, you know, borrow against them, all that sort of stuff and build, I guess, a little, you know, wealth management sort of plan through property, that sort of stuff. And then there's obviously health, like I train every day, trying to get into, you know, a lot more like boxing and combat, that sort of stuff, gymming every day, you know, eating well, health as well. And then obviously, happiness is just doing what I love to do. And having the option to sort of not do things is obviously super important for that as well. You know, not doing things that I don't want to do. But yeah, just trying to sort of focus on, building up those pillars. And, you know, obviously it takes time, but over sort of the past 5 or so years, I've gotten pretty far. And the next sort of 5 to 10 years, I'm super pumped to see where I can, you know, build them all and see what I can do with, the rest of my life.
Yeah, 100. Do you still see yourself filming for Shammi for joy, or you reckon you'll eventually?
It is for joy at the moment. So I've been in a position where I can step away for a while, but it is a lot of fun. And it's sort of like, I guess for me, like what would you say? Like the professional world of filming, it's not exhausting, but it's a little bit like, you know, you put on a bit of a fake smile and you sort of like, you know, meeting, you know, real estate agents or like, you know, business people and that sort of stuff. It's fun and it's nice and I like that side of it, but it's also good to be able to just film some stupid videos and have a laugh with the boys and, you know, that side of it as well. So I'll keep doing it for a little while longer. We got a few trips planned as well. So we're off to Sydney next month, which should be good. Watch UFC. And then a few others as well. But I'll keep on that one for a little bit longer.
Yeah. One thing I want to touch into, bro, is the real estate, because that's something I want to look into in the near future. Did you get into that from shooting like houses? You like talking to real estate agents and
sort of. I just sort of like I said, I guess going back, I sort of was a bit sick of the clientele, and I sort of, you know, with real estate and with cameras, and you know this, you sort of like you need certain equipment for certain things, and I didn't have the equipment for that, so I was like, wanted to get into it, went out on a limb, bought it, did one free real estate video, which is sort of how I've gotten a lot of the opportunities I've gotten when I've gone into something new, is either like work for free or done free shoots, or, you know, want to meet a person, so I do a shoot for them for free, and then that will lead into other stuff. But bought all the sort of the lenses and that sort of stuff I needed, did a free shoot, and then I had sort of the, I guess, proof that I could do it, sent that off, and got a client here, got a client there, did another free shoot for this other agent and got a client there, and sort of built it that way.
Yep.
But that's how I sort of went down that road.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people advocating for it a lot lately, especially on, you know, TikTok and that, about doing your free shoots and like doing free work first before you build that clientele.
100%.
You still
100%. I think it's a double-edged sword where, like, obviously you don't want to just be doing everything for free, and eventually, like, you know, to replace your job and your income, you have to charge money. But I think at the start, like, all you have, like, call it like elbow grease, like all you have at the start is like time to give. Like, if you have never done a real estate shoot, you've never done, you know, never built a house, you've never done, you know, whatever it may be, you don't have the expertise and the skills to be able to be charging top dollar. And a lot of the time people will, you know, try and, you know, match whatever else everyone else is charging, and sort of, and you can get away with it sometimes, you sort of get lucky or whatever, or you're just really talented. But a lot of the time, you don't have much to give besides like time. So if you've never done it before, whether that's like filming or, like I said, anything, all you can really do is volunteer and get experience and build a name for yourself. And that's where you can sort of fuck up, and it's not really, you know, it's for free, so it's not a huge issue. Whereas if you're charging $3,000, $4,000 for a video, you don't have this equipment, or you sort of, you know, you miss this step, especially with something like real estate. You know, they've all had shoots done before. They know what it's sort of like. So sorry, I do definitely recommend doing things for free at the start, just because like you really don't have much else to give a lot of people.
Yep.
Until you have, you've done 20 or 30 of them, you're comfortable doing it, you know what you're doing, you're good at it now. And then you can sort of start looking at charging and building clientele. And you'll also have a portfolio as well. Like it's real hard to like approach people and be like, oh, hey, can I do this video for you? It's going to be $2,000. They're like, the first thing they're going to say is, oh yeah, send me some of your work. And you're like, oh, well, I haven't done it. Like you have, nowhere to really go. Whereas if you've done all that time, you've put in all the effort, you have all these, a portfolio full of stuff you can use, then obviously you can take that and use it elsewhere. And that goes, for every industry, I guess. Like at the start, there's always work experience, that sort of stuff you can do. Just to get your foot in the door, you'll meet someone, you'll do this, you'll get better at that. And then you can, if it's not where you want to go or not what you want to do, you can angle that way. But yeah, I'm a big believer in doing things for free at the start, just because like I said, you don't want to burn bridges, and you also, you don't really have the expertise yet to sort of be charging high ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And like, the thing I feel like maybe a struggle for me in the future is like, unless you're doing shoots for like your, bigger businesses and your bigger real estate agents, the budget's not so much a fuss for them.
Yeah.
They see the invoice and, straight through.
Yeah, 100%.
With your smaller businesses, like, have you done much work with smaller businesses? Yeah. And like, have you ever had any dramas with like, sending invoices to them and they've had complaints about the price? And
100%.
How do you get around that? Like,
oh, I guess it's like, well, at some point, like at the start, I did it all. Like I said, I was doing free shoots as much as I could. And then once you sort of like, you're good enough and you're confident enough, I guess, like there's always going to be those, but even now, like even like yesterday, I was on the phone to an agent. He was like, worried about pricing, that sort of stuff. Like you're always going to get that. You just got to be, I guess, like strong enough to be able to say no. Because especially with videography and things like that, like doing a video for like, $700 or something might take you a couple of hours. Seems like, not too bad. But like if you start reducing, if you do it here and you do it there, and then this person refers you here or whatever, you can get in like a little bit of a trap to doing it a little bit too much than you probably should. Whereas I guess once you have that established sort of brand and you have, you're good enough to be doing whatever you're doing, you got to be a bit strong, because that sort of stuff is always going to pop up. Doesn't matter sort of, how high you go, you're always going to get that. But yeah, you got to be not afraid to say no and sort of stand your ground. And obviously like if you can, it does help a lot if you have all these examples of like work you've done that's really good, and you can justify why you're charging that. You can sort of usually not talk your way out of it, but you can sort of explain your value that way. Because a lot of time, like price objections are usually just because they don't quite understand like what they're paying for, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's just something that you got to work around. Like, I feel like I'm going to have to work around, like, have to explain in detail, and building that. That's the beauty of having social media, is you can display your work and anyone can
100%.
look at it.
100%.
So yeah, 100, bro. Another question I had for you in terms of videography is with AI, bro.
Yeah.
Where do you think that's going to go in the next 5 years or
5
10 years?
10 years would be hectic, really good. I guess there's like a lot of, it's real fresh now. So there's like, sorry. It's real fresh now. So there's not like, it's good and you can use it. It's a good tool at the moment. Like you can use it to automate a lot of scripts, and you can, do all that sort of stuff. You can use it to edit a lot of like bulk photos, that sort of stuff, but it's not quite there. In 5 or 10 years, it gets a little bit scary. Like with all like the deep fake stuff, and you'll be able, because I guess like if you can type in to AI, like make me a photo of, whoever you want, Chris Hemsworth drinking a Red Bull at Burley, and it'll create you a photo. And then a video is obviously just many photos sort of stitched together, 24 to 26 or depending. So if it can make one photo, it can make 26 photos. That's a second worth of video. If it can make 26, it can make 1,000. So then it gets a little bit scary when it starts to be able to, put all that sort of stuff together and make it smooth.
Yeah, for sure. There's already like platforms online where you can just send a bunch of clips of like, say, a podcast in, and just give it a script and literally pump out a whole video.
It's insane. It's insane. I think it's a little bit overhyped where I think like people are like, oh AI, it's so scary. But if you actually can prompt it and you can find tools like that and like, you know, give it the right prompts and tell it what to do sort of thing, it can be really good.
Yeah, for sure. Marketing wise and
yeah. 100%.
And I feel like a lot of the AI websites that are out today, a lot of them are just clickbait. People just subscribing to them, they do jack shit for you.
Yeah,
they might
100%.
do one thing, but it's like, you know, I can just do that in the same.
Yeah, they just got a shit app and they just slap AI on it, and people are like, oh, fuck.
The one the AI I use at the moment is the multi-camera editor.
Oh yeah,
Autopod.
Yeah,
do you use that as well for your pods? Or
I don't. I send mine off to get edited, but it's a game changer. Little stuff like that, little tools that saves you so much time.
Oh, bro, it's just it's unreal. Where it's actually scary, really. Where it's all going.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the end of the day, like everything has its positives and negatives and ups and downs. So
as long as you're using it right, you're on the good side of it.
Yeah,
100,
bro. Back to the loose stories. You don't want to touch on them.
Back to the loose stories. Dude, I can't even think of one to tell. I got a few. I'm just trying to
imagine they're just absolutely wild.
Some of them are. I don't want to get anyone in trouble too.
Yeah, don't sweat it. It's all
Up to you, bro. 100.
I can't think of one.
Just going through all the real bad ones.
Because now I'm on the spot. I'm thinking like, fuck, I don't want to say that. Oh no, I won't say that.
So we don't put you in spot. Better not put anyone in trouble.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking, fuck.
Yeah, no, it's all sweet.
Yeah, nah, brother. Like, honestly, man, like, I know when I first met you, like, bro, honestly, you're just most open guy. Like, you didn't know who I was, but you still give me the time of day to have a chat with.
Yeah, always.
And
very important.
Yeah, you're just one of those blokes, bro, that I've a lot of respect for. And honestly, the dream and the passion you have, like, many inspire to have. So I
appreciate it.
Respect you, bro. 100.
Appreciate it. Respect you both too. Well done for getting yourself out there and coming up here and getting some guests on and starting a podcast. It's sick. Love to see it.
Yeah, 100, bro. So there it goes. But yeah, definitely have to stay close in contacts, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Right. Cheers for listening to our episode.